You know, you are allowed to feel lit up in your relationship. Not just fine, not just functioning. I am talking about excited and full of love and appreciation, like genuinely lit up. Body alive, desire alive, love on fire alive. And I know that might seem like a pipe dream because the truth is, most women are not living that. And today's conversation brings us into why we're not living that and how we can live that. Because really, truly, dear one, you deserve to feel lit up in love and in every area of your life. And today's guest is an expert on making sense of this and finding our way out. Welcome to another Catalyst Conversation for a Relationship Revolution. Here we challenge the unquestioned assumptions about love, life, and leadership. We disrupt the patterns that have been keeping you stuck, and we reveal the truths that no one has told you. Here we activate new ways of doing relationships consciously, courageously, differently, and dare I say, better, so that you can have the kind of relationships and the life that most people only dream of. I am so glad that you're here with us. You ready? Let's get into it. So this month, if you're catching this episode as it drops, we are exploring what I'm calling Alive in Love, the serious business of joy. This is a series that felt really important to me to do because I recognize that somewhere along the way in most of our lives, we get the message that being a good partner, a good mother, a good leader, a good person in the world, a good productive person, right? Like that looks like running ourselves into the ground and calling it devotion, right? And that's not how it needs to be. We all know, because we're all feeling the consequences of it, that is not, it's not serving us. And so in this series, we have talked about the chapter of menopause and what that can look like. We've talked about joy as resistance. We've talked about reclaiming the parts of ourselves that we've quietly shelved to keep everyone else comfortable. And today we're going to go a layer even deeper into the actual biology of feeling alive. Because joy, desire, that lit up feeling that you used to have, that maybe you can remember, it's not something that we have to manufacture. And it's not something that we have to wait for our outside circumstances or our partner to be any kind of certain way for us to start to feel again. When your nervous system finally feels safe, it's what's waiting underneath, that joy, that aliveness, ready to come back online. And today's guest is an expert in just that conversation. But before we get into meeting her, and I'm so excited to introduce you to her, let me take a moment to introduce you to myself in case you are new to me and this work. My name is Dr. Jeni Wahlig, and I am an award-winning relationship mentor, speaker, author, intuitive guide, and I am proudly a relationship revolutionary. My mission is to revolutionize how we think about and go about our relationships and to redefine what it means to love so that we might all experience the true power and possibilities that our relationships have to offer. I believe that nothing, truly nothing, affects the quality of our lives more than the quality of our relationships. And we're in relationship all the time, including relationship with our own mind, mental health, our own bodies and nervous systems, okay? Relationships, all of them, are the infrastructure then to everything else we are trying to build in our lives. But we've never learned how to do them well, let alone how to lead them consciously and relationally. And listen, the relational skills that you learn in your partnership or your marriage, they're the same ones we use here with ourselves and vice versa. Okay. When you're in the world of relationship, there is no lost learning. It all applies. Unfortunately, a lot of what we have learned about relationships or how they're supposed to go not only doesn't work, it's actually part of what's keeping us stuck and unhappy. And so the revolution that I'm talking about starts to change all of that. This is a great global healing through love, a return from separation into wholeness, a paradigm shift in how humanity relates, loves, and leads, starting at our most intimate levels. In these catalyst conversations, my goal isn't just to give you insight. It is to wake something up within you, to shift something in you so that you may live into this revolution as well. Now, our guest today knows firsthand what it takes to take back your life, to come back, to return to joy and aliveness after a season that could have convinced her that this is just how it was going to be, right? This is what life is. A single mom of 3, 2 of her kids living with disabilities. She found her way from survival into something that now helps others find theirs too. With a dual master's in neuroscience and counseling psychology, she helps high capacity people, executives, performers, parents, leaders, and women just like you unlock the part of themselves that gets to feel joy, desire, and aliveness again, not just manage life from the outside in. She's consulted everywhere from the Bank of China to Disney to NHL families. And today she's here with us to show us what's really possible. What an honor. Everybody, please help me in welcoming Marlowe. Marlowe, thank you for being a part of these Catalyst Conversations. We're so happy to be here.
Thank you for having me. That was such a lovely introduction. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you said a lot of things in your intro that really resonated with me. So I'd love why don't we just start with you asking me questions, because so much is going through my mind right now.
I bet. I know. We'll have to schedule more time just to like connect and nerd out on all the things, because
Absolutely.
I have the feeling that there's a lot of resonance there, which is exactly why I invited you into this conversation. And I'm so glad that it's you here for this final episode of the Alive and Love series, because and for those of you listening, Marlowe was willing enough to jump in kind of last minute because I had another guest who fell through. But this is like such a perfect little wrap to our conversation on joy, because you're getting into not just the neuroscience of it, but what it means to move from pain and struggle and not feeling safe in our lives to being alive and joyful and lit up, which I think for a lot of women is hard to imagine being able to do.
Yes, it's easy to stay stuck. It's easy to stay stuck. And as you mentioned in your intro, yes, my children are now 25 years old, 23 years old, and almost 20.
Wow.
My older boys, they are both on the autism spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
My 23-year-old falls more onto the spectrum. He will require supports.
Okay.
Likely for the rest of his life. But so I've raised them since 2011, and they have lived with me 100% of the time. And it's been so amazing and incredibly difficult. The most challenging, actually, believe it or not, because I'm going to tell you something after, that is the most challenging, but also the most rewarding.
Yeah.
And still is.
Yeah.
But just, when you were speaking about feeling safe, that's the only place where that's like the soil. That's the soil for all beautiful, amazing things. That's it. In 2024, I had met somebody. We developed a relationship. And he was a wonderful human being. And as many of us do, he had some past situations in his life that created a lot of a lot of issues.
Mhm.
Long story short, I had made a decision to end the relationship.
Okay.
And over the course of 6 months after that, he continued to pursue me.
Mm.
And I did not reciprocate. And he
Mhm.
wound up breaking into my home
Oh,
and
wow.
and shooting himself in the head with a shotgun.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Marlowe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. On my daughter's high school graduation day. I mean, he knew that
Jeez.
we were not going to be home. Yeah. But yeah. And he said, if I can't have you, I'm going to put myself in your life. So I will be with you every single day of your life. So the boys and I were home when I found him. So miraculously,
Mhm.
and I think the reason why I was able to manage the situation and how
Yeah.
it affected my life and the lives of my children is only because I am equipped with the
Mhm.
tools.
Yeah.
Most people are not equipped with the tools.
Yeah.
So I knew I was the cause, but I certainly was not the catalyst. No, I wasn't the catalyst.
Reverse that.
I was the catalyst, not the cause.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm like,
Uh,
not the cause, Marlowe. Not the
when
cause.
we
Let's
talk
not say that.
when we talk about our personal experiences, it's easy to just sort of lose track of the old
Mhm.
noggin. Right. So I processed
Mhm.
in a very healthy way, and I grew through it. I
Yeah.
didn't just go through it. I
Yeah.
grew through it, and I grew through raising the kids, and I'm still raising those kids.
Mhm.
You grow through it. You don't
Yeah.
just go through it.
Yeah.
And I knew that. And I knew that my spirit, my soul, I knew that I had purpose
Mhm.
through all of this. I knew I had purpose, and I knew it was all I knew it was part of my journey. It was part of what is setting me up for the future. Now, as I was already working in this capacity, I'm 50 years old. I've been doing this since I was in my mid 20s,
Mhm.
doing therapy and research and writing. But for the average individual who doesn't have the experience and the education, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have
Yeah.
to come out on the other
Absolutely.
side, and not just come out into the clear, but to all of a sudden have so much more joy. I am the
Mhm.
happiest I have ever been in my entire life.
Love that.
And
I
your
love
level of love and your level of joy is always based on the last sort of pinnacle, right? But you
Mm.
don't realize it can actually be even better. It's
Mhm.
limitless. It's
Yes.
limitless.
Yes.
What brought me joy 20 years ago, the way I felt love for myself
Mhm.
and for others 20 years ago, is not the same as it is now, because we're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
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 Oh my
And
God.
in relationships too, right?
Yeah. So many things that I want to pull out of what you're saying, Marlowe. Okay. So first of all, I want to reflect how important it is to acknowledge that we can go through trauma. We can go through really hard things that some people might think would just totally knock us down or stay with us forever or haunt us. Um, and we can use those experiences when you have the tools, which is another important piece you said. Like when you have the tools, the perspective, the understanding, we can use those experiences to grow us toward greater and greater levels of joy and aliveness, as opposed to just surviving them.
Mm-hmm.
And the key, which I want to get into more, because I want to pick your neuroscience expertise about this. Like the key is safety. Like as you said, that's the soil, and in the work that we do with clients, we talk about safety and nervous systems all the time, because I don't know how you can do change or self-awareness or relationality without awareness of our nervous system. It's like running the show. So,
Mhm.
um, but a lot of like what we're paying attention to in changing the dynamics of our relationship through the power that we ourselves have is supporting the facilitation of safety first within our own nervous
Yep.
system, and then co-creating a sense of safety for our partners,
Mhm.
because your partner's not going to grow or change either when they're in survival or self-protection, nor are you. So this is an important piece of change in relationship, which often is a stepping stone to the joy. It's internal and relational. So I just wanted to pull on that a little bit, because it's so that perspective shift of the both the possibility, and there are tools, right? There are tools that we can
Yes,
use,
there are.
and the foundation has to be feeling safety. So we got to start there with our nervous system safety.
And absolutely. You can have all the tools in the tool shed, but if
Exactly.
you don't, and you can even know how they work,
Hmm.
but unless you understand their purpose and where you are at in that moment of your journey of your life, then there's no point,
Yeah.
right? You have to truly understand yourself,
Yeah.
loving yourself, respecting yourself, valuing yourself, loving yourself. That is the only way that you are going to be able to grow emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
to heal if there's healing needed, and feeling brave enough to feel courageous enough to move into or shift into a relationship with the world and people
Hmm.
that's authentic to you and yet unique to you,
Yeah.
because everybody's needs and wants are different. And if you're truly in touch with yourself authentically, authenticity is
Mm.
the most, it's the number one thing. Just really, really learn about you.
Yeah.
Learn what to let go of, and learn what you can move into. And
Mhm.
don't be afraid. And that fearlessness comes from the grounding of safety, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so talk to us about like what's actually happening in our nervous systems when we're not feeling safe, when we're not feeling alive, when we're not feeling like we love ourselves very much. There's a lot of people are very critical of themselves or have trauma histories that create programming suggesting that they well that do not support them in knowing their own value and being in that loving relationship with self, right? So when we're starting from a, a place of not alive, of exhausted, of in pain, how do we like what no not I don't want to get into how yet, but like what's going on in your nervous system that prevents you from being able to feel that joy and aliveness?
Right. Okay. So we have, you understand nervous systems, and I'm
Mhm.
sure a lot of your listeners and viewers understand, and the people who you've worked with and now understand or
Yeah.
do understand sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. So we have our fight, we have our flight, we also have freeze.
Mhm.
When we are in a state of being unsettled, where we're not feeling safe with ourselves and the world around us, we're not able to receive.
Mhm.
We are able to receive all the relationships, all the moments that feed the negativity, that
Right.
we're very open to. In fact, we're very susceptible to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why we go into the same relationships over and over and over that might be maladaptive.
Mhm.
Once you're able to understand where that fear, where that anger feels in your body, and
Mhm.
you're able to do the work to identify it, to know what to do with it, because identifying it is one thing, but you have to also understand, well, what do I do with this? What
Yes.
do I do? Where do I put it? How do I clear it out? You have to clear out the closet in
Mm.
order to put stuff in, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So understanding your traumas, understanding why your mindset, why your heart set is the way it is to have an honest conversation with self
Mm,
and realize that you can't just get rid of it. You can't just sweep it under the rug. And only usually in hindsight, until it happens often enough, in hindsight, you will always realize that all of the trauma, all that negativity that has embedded itself into your life is actually a gift. Okay.
mhm.
So now I know, because I've gone through it so many times, I know, okay, well, what am I supposed to learn from this?
Right.
Right. So what's happening neurologically is you've got high cortisol. Okay.
Mhm.
So the high cortisol levels are going to do a number of things. They're going to hijack your hormones. They're going to hijack the way you metabolize food.
Wow.
It's going to hijack your entire central nervous system. So
Mhm.
this one chemical, this
Wow.
cortisol, is a detriment to
Mhm.
you physically, emotionally, and it skews your perception of reality.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've got a lot of neurotransmitters. You've got a lot of high dopamine and low serotonin, which is
Mhm.
why you're just always looking for the next fire. You're looking for, everything's a fire drill, and you don't trust relationships. You don't trust yourself. Yeah. So we need to get to the root of that, and then you get to do all sorts of magical, wonderful things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The I heard once that, and maybe you could tell me whether this is true, but it totally makes sense to me. If it were, I heard once that, well, someone put it that cortisol is contagious. I know it's not actually contagious, but what what he was sharing was
Mm.
that relationally, when we are in a state of stress and have a lot of
Mhm.
cortisol in our body, um, other like the people we're in close relationship and proximity to, their nervous system, their bodies pick up on that cortisol and start releasing cortisol within their
Mhm.
body as well, as like
Yes.
almost a mirrored response,
Mhm.
which totally makes
Yes.
sense because from a survival perspective, if there's a reason to be stressed and on high alert, we should all be on high alert.
That's right.
Um, but in relationship, when your own stress and cortisol, your own lack of safety, it's both fascinating and incredibly helpful to recognize that that can transfer to your partner, yeah?
It can, 100%. 100%. And there are so many examples I can give you, but if you are in a relationship where your partner
Mhm,
is very aggressive, very
mm,
angry, you're
mhm.
going to become very sensitive to that, right? It
Yep,
happens. We're all energetic beings. So
yep.
that isn't woo woo, that is science.
Yes, it is.
So, right. So if you have an aggressor who's
Mhm,
constantly shaming, constantly putting on ridiculous expectations, you're going to be feeling very vulnerable and very on edge, always wanting to please, which then feeds that control, which then feeds that maladaptive behavior. So
mhm.
yes, you are 100% right. Yeah. So it's very difficult for an individual, for a human being, whether you are in an office relationship or a romantic relationship or a relationship with your children,
Mhm.
if you make a decision, I'm going to walk into this room and I'm going to be at peace and I'm not going to be affected by this person's negative behavior, it is
Mhm.
incredibly difficult.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
incredibly difficult.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause they're, not biologically, there's the hormones, and we're picking up on that, but also energetically, as energy beings, we pick up on that frequency.
We do.
So, it's
Mhm.
worth knowing that we can work toward being I talk to my clients about, like, being the most powerful energy in the room,
Mhm.
um, and, because also I'll add, we're built not only to ramp each other up, but also to soothe one another, right? We're
That's right.
we're built to co-regulate. So when you
Mhm.
can anchor into safety in your own nervous system, you can also influence and support a partner
Yeah.
or a kid. I mean, we do it all the time with our kids in anchoring their nervous system. But it is incredibly difficult.
It takes a
And
lot of practice.
it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of consciousness. It takes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
energy, right? Because we have to bring that conscious awareness to how we're feeling and who we're being,
And it
as
starts with the
opposed to being an
self.
autopilot.
It starts with the self. It starts with the
Yeah,
self.
exactly.
I mean, the coolest thing is that we are all alchemists, right?
I love
We're
that.
all alchemists. Yeah.
Say
Yeah.
more.
And yeah, I mean, we're all alchemists of our own lives
Mm,
and and the lives of others. So, and like those that we spend time with.
mhm.
So just like when you have a child who's crying and as a parent, you say, "You're okay. You're okay. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid." And you have that calm, and then they start to self-regulate a bit. And I said, "Yeah, you're breathing. Oh, it's yeah, you can breathe now." And then
Mhm.
that's alchemy, right? We do that with ourselves. A lot of self-talk.
Yeah,
Self-talk is so important.
it
So
is.
important.
It is.
And you know what? And we all make mistakes. We all do stupid things. But keeping ourselves in check, having that dialogue with self is the
Mhm.
best thing you can do. It actually is the most important thing to do because if you don't understand yourself, if you can't find the humor in your
Yeah.
mistakes,
Mm,
are you going to be able to find that grace and that peace with your partner or your
right,
children?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, these relationships with self and I don't know that when people hear a relationship with self, right? Like I have a relationship with myself. I don't know that they always get the truth
Mm.
in the like both and of it, like that there's multiple parts that you
Yes.
can have a dialogue with, right? Like a relationship with yourself, the way I love thinking about it is like we have our core self, our higher self, our wise self, our adult self, however you want to think about it. And then we have all of these parts of ourselves. It's why parts work in the therapy field, and which I certainly integrate into our work as well with relationships. It's so effective because then you get to have that dialogue, and just like a little kid, there's that part of you in that self-talk. You're not just like blabbing to yourself. It's like you're consciously responding to the part of you
Mhm.
that's afraid, or the part of
That's
you that
it.
feels hurt, or the part
That's
of
it.
you that, right? And so that self-talk is a relational thing, just like you were in relationship with your partner, a relationship with your kid, or a relationship with
Mhm.
a client.
Mhm.
You're responding to their thoughts and feelings from a place of wisdom and safety and what I like to call capital T truth, right? Like our awareness
Okay.
of what's actually true, as
Mhm.
opposed to the the beliefs that these pieces of us can hold about ourselves or about the world
Right.
from our past, from our traumas, from our programming.
Mhm. Mhm. The programming is all the ego, right? So the
Yeah.
ego, when you think ego, we immediately put our backs up. We immediately think, you think
Mhm.
conceitedness, you think egotisticalness.
Right.
That isn't what ego is.
Yeah.
Ego is developed from the
Mhm.
second you're born. It's not always a bad thing because it keeps you safe
Mhm.
often. And sometimes it doesn't have a soul. Okay. Ego does not have a soul. Ego
Mhm.
is like a computer. It's a system.
Yes.
And it doesn't understand why it does the things that it does, but your intuition
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
So when you understand where your thoughts and perceptions and responses are coming from, when you understand that it's this ego, I feel defensive right now because I've taught myself, life has taught me to
Yeah.
respond to this situation in this way. But you have the capacity, it's called
Mhm.
neuroplasticity. From
Yep.
a brain perspective, it's neuroplasticity. We are able to change the neurocircuitry,
Yeah.
but it takes training, it takes time.
It does. It does.
I mean, yes, you can wake up one day and say, I am no longer going to respond in this way. great. That's great in theory, but you have to understand why you respond
Right.
in said situation.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the things that we teach and talk a lot about in our work is something that we call the power formula. And you're speaking right to it, Marlowe. The power formula is super simple. It's awareness equals choice equals power.
Awareness equals choice. Awareness equals choice equals, which is powerful.
Equals power.
Yes.
Yeah. So like when we have awareness of ourselves, of our partner, of our nervous system, of the context, we then have the opportunity to choose. Without awareness, we're on autopilot with that ego, with that programming, just reacting. But with awareness, now we have the opportunity to make a choice about what we actually want to do, how we actually want to respond to ourselves, to our partner, to the situation. And in being able to consciously respond, then we have the power to create the kind of outcomes or experiences that we want.
It's powerful. And then, we mentioned fear.
Yeah.
The opposite really of fear is feeling strong, feeling capable, feeling confident, right? So
Right, which is all safety.
Yeah. And so I'm imagining right now a river, and it looks calm, but there's a whole lot going on with currents.
Yeah.
Everything underneath. You want to get to the other side, to this beautiful valley, this beautiful part of that landscaping. You need to get through. You have to get across, right? You know where you want to go.
Yep.
But you don't know what's going to happen. Right? Is it deep? Can I swim? Am I going to get pulled under from the current? That is scary. That is the unknown. And a lot of people like the idea of change, like the idea of coming into peace with self.
Yeah.
But getting there can be scary.
Yeah.
Getting there can be scary because sometimes we always have to unpack.
Yeah.
You have to unpack, and then you look at it all, and it's going to make you sick to your stomach. Really. But
sorry, go ahead.
It's just like cleaning your room or cleaning your home, right? Yeah. At the end, it's worth it. It is worth the battle because you're going to be tired and you're going through the battle with self. You're going through the battle anyway. It's just a slow burn. Living the way you're living now. Unhappy, unfulfilled, not living to your potential, not living authentically is a slow burn. And you will regret it when your time comes to leave this field.
Yeah.
You will regret it.
Yeah.
Everybody, number one thing, I wish I had done the things. I wish I had honored my truth. Yeah. Everybody. So you've got two choices. You can stay where you are and it's a slow burn. Or you can go through a little bit of a Band-Aid ripoff and there's peace and joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I really appreciate that metaphor and that perspective, Marlowe, because it's real. Like the resistance that we feel to get to the other side is real and understandable. And our nervous systems, which are designed for our safety, right? Designed for our safety and energy conservation, which is also part of our safety. They are not going to want us to take risks or put ourselves in danger or do something that requires an expenditure of a lot of energy. Because in your metaphor, which I love, it's like you swimming across. If there's a current, that's a lot of energy. You like and we're like, I tell people all the time, our brains are lazy. And not in a bad way, not in a judgy way, but like really, they want to take the path of least resistance. That's
exactly
how we're wired.
But again, it's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn, and there's a consequence to not doing it, which is, and
100%.
it's why I'm so like, I feel like these conversations this month are so important because we are not living into, so many of us are not living into the joy, the healing, the possibilities, the aliveness that is open to us when we commit to doing this work. And yeah, it might be scary and you might not know how, but also you don't always have to do it alone.
This is true.
And it doesn't have to be as painful and scary as you
No.
are afraid it's gonna be, especially when you have those tools to
Mhm.
manage it,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't have to take as long as you think it's gonna take. Like, when you're actually in the work of
Mhm.
this journey of really rewiring your nervous system
Mhm.
from survival and lack of safety into
Mhm.
safety and peace and ease, it it's actually I have found anyways, and I think my clients would agree, while there are parts that may be hard and scary and challenging, generally the process feels good
Yeah.
and just starts feeling better and better the more that you do it.
You're studying self. You're studying at the
Yeah,
university of the self,
yeah,
and it is fun, but I can see how a lot of people find it terrifying, right?
I
To
agree.
to to re to discover often for the first time, not just rediscovering, but discovering for the first time
Mm,
parts of them
yeah.
that they never knew existed.
Mhm.
And if you are a parent, you're showing your children,
Yes.
you're modeling for your children.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stay comfy, well, uncomfy in status quo, or are you willing to branch out and just spread your wings, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Absolutely. There's an exercise that I do with some of my clients,
Mhm.
and it's a difficult one. It is an exercise where you think about your funeral, you
Uh-huh.
think about your celebration of life, and you think about who's there.
Mhm.
Where are you? What are they saying about you? What would you like the people to say about you?
Mhm.
And then you go backwards in time in your mind to where you are today.
Yeah.
And that is showing you, to a degree, a roadmap
Mhm.
to where your spirit, where your soul wants to go.
Yeah.
It's a difficult exercise, but it is powerful. It is worthwhile.
Oh, I 100% agree. It's essential to know where you wanna go and who you want to be. I think,
Yes.
like, in the survival, like, we're just getting pulled by the current and just trying to keep our head above the water,
Yeah. Yeah.
that so many of us are experiencing, we lose sight of the fact that we have that choice
Mm.
to design our lives, to design our relationships, and we think about, like, maybe, this how I want things to be in the living of it. Like, I want abundance, or I just wanna be happy, or I wanna not fight with my partner. But yeah, when you are able to psychologically go to the end of the road, right?
Mhm.
To the end of
Mhm.
your life, and really think about the life you lived, and who you
Yes.
were, and what you felt, and how you impacted others, and what
Yes.
they would
Yeah.
say about you. Like, I
Yeah.
I agree. I think nothing is more clarifying
Mhm.
in what it is that we desire to create in our lives, to have an experience, than that exercise. So I love that you do that one.
Yeah. I mean, when people speak at these celebration of lives, these
Mhm.
moments, they all, what do we say? We talk about their character,
Yeah.
we talk about their impact,
Mhm.
right? Those character traits are what are going to inspire you to
Yes.
take action in your own life, and what kind of action, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, life is wild. Life is wild. And in relationships, we can also get really stuck in relationships the way we get stuck with ourselves, right? The
Yeah.
same
Yep.
repetitive, the same expectations, the
Mhm.
same processes. And you wonder why you're not happy, right? Maybe you were at one point because it was fun and exciting and new, but then the
Mhm.
novelty wears off. And then what do you
Mhm.
do? right?
Mhm.
Do you go back? A lot of people try to go back to the things that they used to do together, for example,
Right.
when they first met, right? Just to sort of reignite those feelings.
Mhm.
But you're doing it the wrong way. Okay? Because
Mhm.
you are not the same person you were 5 years ago,
No.
10 years ago,
No.
20 years ago. You're not.
No.
Well,
And you can never,
I would
like,
hope not. I would
you
hope
can never
not.
make your relationship brand new either. Like, you're too far down the road. You can't
You
you can't
cannot make
erase
it
that.
brand new,
Right.
and you can't go back.
Mhm.
You can't go back because the newness of a new relationship is the newness of a new relationship, and you can never get that back
Right.
at all.
Mhm.
And to be honest, it's exhausting. I mean, it's exhausting to think about all the, oh, like, do I look good? Like, do I, just impressing, and then
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
lot. But what I do encourage couples to do is to redesign, just like you have those conversations and do the studying with the self. You do that as a couple. You say,
Yeah.
okay, um, where do I see this relationship
Mhm.
in a year from now? Don't go too far. Where
Mhm.
do where are we living? What does the perfect situation look like? And why do you deem that fill in the blank? Why do you deem that perfect,
Mhm.
right? Or optimal?
Yeah.
If is it financial abundance? Is it, but we don't that money comes and goes. So the
Mhm.
joy cannot come from that. The joy has
Mhm.
got to come from your union, your connection, right? And creating new experiences together.
Sure.
That's the other thing, is doing something new, learning a
Mhm.
new language together,
Mhm.
planning something, planning a new version of yourselves as a couple, of
Yeah.
yourselves, right? As a couple.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's not just one person doing the deep dive into self, it's the other person too. Then you get to come together and you have something to talk about.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I'm feeling like this is where I want to be in my life at this point. And then he or she might say the same thing about their lives. And it's like, this is so cool. I get to be your partner. Like, how can I help you achieve those things? And vice versa. That's the glue, right? That's the glue. And there's joy and there's beauty in it. And it is very intimate.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
that intimacy
Right.
that is unique to you and your partner.
Mhm.
And you create and recreate over and over and over again through the course of your lives together. You
Mhm.
recreate the intimacy. What does intimacy look like today for us
Right.
versus 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's going
Yeah.
to be different.
I love the idea of intentionally designing our
Mhm.
lives and our relationship. And I want to circle back to, like, the naming, because for those who are listening, I want you all to remember that the context of this conversation is that safety is the soil.
Mm,
Like, so that intimacy, that designing, though, that adventure and novelty, safety, safety first, right, in our nervous systems.
yeah.
Because without that, you're not going to be able to connect to intimacy. You're not going to be able to connect to novelty. It's not going to feel very exciting. It's going to probably feel scary.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a really important key that I don't want to lose in, as as our listeners kind of move through this conversation path, because um so often we get advice about how to realign our relationship, right?
Hmm.
Add the spark again.
Hmm.
And we try to do, as you named, like, we try to do the things we used to do that were exciting, or we try, maybe we go on a new date or a second honeymoon, and maybe that works for a little bit because there's some excitement to it. And if you're not feeling safe in yourself or in your relationship, in your nervous system,
Yes.
you're not going to get the impact from it that
It's
you're
not
really.
sustainable.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, you've given us a lot of tips, Marlowe, in the ways that we can come back into safety in our nervous system, right? You talked about, um, doing the work of healing and self-awareness and
Yes.
authenticity and self-love. You've talked about like the courage that it takes to lean into this work, even when your nervous system is activated, and staying aware of who you are and where you're at and where you want to go. And all of these pieces they may not seem related to our nervous system safety, but they absolutely are, because they're a part of how we experience ourselves in our lives, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And that's what, how we experience things, that's what our nervous system is doing. It's experiencing. It's either experiencing our lives and ourselves as unsafe in some way or as safe in some way. So I want to kind of like bring this all together and ask, you've done a lot of work with high performing people and high level executives and folks who have a lot of stress, folks who have a lot of pressure, probably some trauma in their relationship too. And yet you're still helping them come back to that safety. And so I want to ask, like, what have you seen, Marlowe, start to become possible for the people that you work with when they do this work, when they are willing to take this journey to cross this river? What opens up for them?
Everything. Things that you couldn't even imagine. Things you can't even imagine. You couldn't even create in your own mind.
Wow.
And it's when you feel safe, you are open. When you feel safe, new opportunities come your way. When you feel safe, you are so open to joy, to love. Those opportunities come to you so that you can add value to the opportunities, not receiving the opportunities, but the opportunities come, and all of a sudden it takes you on a trajectory that oftentimes it's like choose your own adventure. Like you don't even know how it's going to end. You don't even know, but it's beautiful. And I tell you what, anything is better than staying stuck in the quicksand. Nothing. It's all better. It can literally only get better.
Yeah.
And that is a reality.
Yeah.
And I have seen miracles. I've seen miracles.
So cool.
I've seen
miracles. It really, it's miraculous. It feels magical.
It's supernatural. So if somebody is on the fence thinking, oh, God, this all sounds great in theory, but it just seems like it's a lot of work. Just wrapping up what we talked about. It's either a slow burn or it's a quick, and it is quick. The more you commit to yourself, the quicker you move through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The more resistance, the longer it takes. So if you're committed, let's do it. Let's jump off this cliff. Let's hit the water. You're going to be invigorated. You're going to have a renewal of self, your body, your mind, your spirit, and everybody around you, your children, your partner, your coworkers. You are going to be a different version of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
The ripple effects are just yummy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yummy. That's a great word. They're delicious.
Yes.
And the world, you have no idea what the opportunities are that are going to come your way. You don't, but they're going to be good.
They are going to be so good.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, like I've been on this journey of, I've always been in personal growth, right? But I've been specifically attending to my neuroplasticity, right? Using my conscious mind to rewire the unconscious programming that has been keeping me feeling unhappy, unsafe, right? So it's been about 5 years or something now. And I haven't like deep dived into it, but it's been part of a regular practice. And as I just reflecting back on the last 5 years of my life, though, they have been more magical,
Yeah.
more incredible, more synchronistic, more fulfilling.
Of course.
And you just, as you named, you just keep leveling up. It's just more
you
and
do.
more and more.
You do. You do. You
And
do. Like
it's
you
so
actually do. And
right,
once you get a taste of it,
yes.
you
You don't wanna
don't want to
stop,
stay stagnant. You don't want to
right?
stay stagnant.
Yes.
No,
And
you
you don't
don't
wanna
want to.
yeah, and you don't wanna stay in not even just stagnant, but you don't wanna stay in what we call the primal states, right?
No,
Of like
no,
of
no.
fear, of stress, of overwhelm, of
Just being
hurt.
responsive, or
Yeah.
yeah, just not
Oh,
experiencing life, but just responding to life.
yeah.
Just um,
So good.
yeah. No, it's a beautiful thing. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing,
Mhm.
and it's not selfish. I know a lot of, particularly the baby boomer generation, particularly, not all, I'm
Mhm.
generalizing,
Mhm.
but a fair share, the majority, I would say, baby boomers think, oh, well, we're so woke, and it's the
Mm.
Gen X's and millennials and Gen Z's are so woke, and it's so selfish, and how many self-help books do you have to have on your shelf? And
Mm.
the reality is that I'm actually serving you. Trust me,
Yeah.
I'm serving you by way of doing the work.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
do. We serve
yeah.
everyone.
Mhm, mhm.
100%.
Because what yeah, because you're nourishing the
Yeah.
soil creates really thick, healthy roots, and
Mhm.
from that sprout, right, the
Mhm.
fruit, the vegetables,
Yeah.
the foliage,
Yeah.
and then you can feed others,
Yes, 100%. What a beautiful
right?
metaphor.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm aware of our time. Man, this went fast.
Oh, yeah, it has been
And we could
fast.
I'm sure we could keep talking. So two final questions to wrap up.
Okay.
First, if you could leave our listeners with just one message, like one thing you most want them to hear or remember from our conversation, what would it be?
I would say don't don't be afraid of yourself. Don't
Mm,
be afraid of who you are and who you're designed to be, who you've been created to be. Don't be afraid to jump in that pool. And authenticity, when you are walking and living out your days
mhm.
authentically, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah,
There's nothing better than that.
I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. All right, last question.
Yeah.
How can people work with you, get a hold of you, learn more about you?
Okay, well, they can follow me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. All the contact information is all there. They can email me at positiveneurohealth@gmail.com or contact me on social media, and we can work something out.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
You have a website, right? Positive Neuro Health?
Positiveneurohealth.com. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I will
Yeah.
make sure that that is in the show notes for
Okay.
folks. Marlo, this has been such a rich and valuable
Oh,
conversation.
thank you.
It's like
I enjoyed
gold
it.
nuggets everywhere. Um, I am so grateful that you shared your time and your wisdom with us. Uh, and I certainly feel even more inspired and energized to keep doing this work of anchoring into safety because I know because I'm living the consequences of it, the effects of it, right?
Yes.
I know the way that it really does bring us into feeling lit up, not only in love, but I mean, well, it's like I get to feel lit up in my relationship, but lit up in my life, in love with
Yes.
myself,
Mhm.
in love with
Mhm.
my present, in love with my future, and even in love with my past. Um,
Yes.
and there's
Mhm.
no bigger gift than that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, learning to love the past, all of the ugliness, all the joys,
Mhm.
all the mistakes.
Mhm.
Learning to love that.
Yeah.
That when you can get to a place where you can love that,
Mhm.
then
Game changing.
then you're on your way. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing.
All
All
right.
right, my friend. Well, I'm gonna put you backstage while I close out our
Okay.
podcast episode today. Thank you again for being here. You've been amazing.
Thank you for having me. I had such a great time, and I look forward to chatting more with you at some point.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Friends, if this episode brought you something important, if it inspired you or taught you something or created a shift, will you do something for us, please? Could you subscribe to the Relationship Revolutionary podcast wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a review? Share a comment. Let us know what landed for you in this. When you interact with this podcast, it does so much to help us get this conversation into the rooms that Marlowe and I couldn't get into without your help, right? So please take a moment to do that. Additionally, if you want to help me to activate and accelerate my mission of revolutionizing relationships, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Insta, wherever you show up. I'm probably there, LinkedIn. Share about our work with other people. Attend our live and free virtual events. And of course, keep doing your part to lead your life with love. If you're looking for support for yourself and your relationships, there are a number of ways that Calvin and I can support you, all very much in alignment with everything that we've talked about today, okay? And I want to share just two of them with you briefly. The first is a free masterclass that I'm doing. It's called How to Get Your Partner to Finally Show Up the Way You've Been Asking Without Burning Out Trying to Make It Happen. And I know that it's a lot of words, but every one of them matters. So I'm sticking with that title. So this is a masterclass that is more of an identity activation than it is a typical webinar, okay? Real talks, real shifts that you could start using right away to create real changes in your relationship. Again, this is a free masterclass. Trying to do it every couple of weeks as part of my mission to support 1 million plus women and queer entrepreneurs, founders, leaders, visionaries in having the kind of relationship we actually deserve. So please join me for this masterclass. I promise it will be worth your time. If you know you are looking for a deeper level of support and you want to learn exactly the moves, the shifts that you can make to have the kind of changes that you've been trying to get in your relationship, the kind of intro place to working with me and Calvin is our decision call or our powerful decision call. So in this is a 90-minute deep dive where we're going to explore where you're stuck, what is really going to take to break through and create those changes, and talk about your options so you can make a powerful decision. Part of that, if we think that we can help, and you're interested in working with us, we can talk about what that looks like. And if not, we're going to offer our best suggestions for what you can do instead. So that's a $500 investment for our 90-minute powerful decision call. The good news is if you decide to work with us, and even if you don't, you can use that $500 toward any of our programs, kind of counts as your deposit, or you can use it for one of our digital courses. So you can continue your growth and expansion journey, even if it doesn't mean working with us directly. So the link to book a powerful decision call is also in the show notes. Please take a look, reach out if there's anything that we can do to support you. I have so appreciated having Marlowe here with us today. I know that you did too. And next week, we jump into a new conversation. We're going into the masculine, feminine, and desire, polarity, energy. I don't know. We'll see where those conversations go, but I am excited for it. It is my birthday month of August. And I wanted to spend my birthday month talking about the masculine, feminine polarity and the truth about desire and how to revolutionize all of that. So great stuff. Join me every Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, for another catalyst conversation in the relationship revolution. I hope to see you there. Until then, my friends, keep leading with love.